He bought an isolated farmhouse for peace, only to discover a caged alien queen in the basement. Jonathan Hale had always been restless. The noise of the city, the unending hum of fluorescent lights, and the weight of other people's lives pressing in on him drove him to the edge. That was why, when he saw the advertisement for an old farmhouse for sale miles away from civilization, he didn't hesitate. The listing was short. Quiet farmhouse, perfect for solitude. Remote. Cheap. He signed the papers within a week. The property was even more isolated than described, nestled in a valley surrounded by thick forest. The nearest neighbor was 3 miles away, the only sound being the wind in the trees and the occasional crow overhead. Jonathan smiled when he stepped inside. The farmhouse smelled of dust and time, with creaking wooden floors and cracked plaster walls. It was perfect. Silence. Solitude. The first night was unusually still. No hum of electricity, no distant cars. Just the sound of his own breathing and the wind brushing against the house. But around midnight, Jonathan woke to a faint sound, a soft humming. It wasn't mechanical and it wasn't human. He told himself it was his imagination. By morning, curiosity gnawed at him. The farmhouse had a basement, locked with a rusted padlock. The key had been left in a drawer upstairs. Jonathan wondered why. Most farmhouses had basements for storage. Perhaps it was just old equipment. But the humming was louder at night. And tonight Jonathan decided to find out. The lock gave way easily. The stairs descended into darkness. The air grew cold and damp, smelling of iron and something strange. Jonathan switched on his flashlight. The beam fell on a metallic cage. Inside was a creature unlike anything Jonathan had ever seen. It was enormous, taller than a man, with smooth, iridescent skin that shimmered faintly even in the darkness. Its head was crowned with translucent ridges, and its large eyes glowed faintly purple. Its form was elegant yet alien, something both beautiful and terrifying. The creature turned its head toward him. Its gaze was intelligent, aware. A hum radiated from it, low and hypnotic, as though trying to communicate. Jonathan staggered back, heart pounding. What are you?" he whispered. It spoke, not with words but with thought. A voice that echoed in his mind. "I am the queen." Jonathan froze. The basement felt suddenly smaller, heavier. The queen of what? He thought, but the creature answered before he could speak aloud. "Hive. I was captured. This prison was made to keep me quiet, away from my kind." He looked around. The cage was old but reinforced with strange alloys, humming softly like a living thing. He could feel the power in it. The queen shifted, her glowing eyes locking on him. "Help me." Jonathan's first instinct was fear, but her plea was strangely compelling. It wasn't just words. It was a pull on his thoughts, like a whisper threading into his mind. He stepped closer, drawn to her. "Release me," she said. "I will give you peace forever." Jonathan hesitated. A voice in his head screamed warning. But another voice, deep and almost comforting, urged him forward. His fingers closed on the lock. Clicked open. The cage hissed and the metal seemed to dissolve into light. The queen stepped out. Her presence filled the basement. She was taller than he expected, graceful, her limbs moving like liquid. She reached toward him. "Thank you." The moment her skin touched his, Jonathan collapsed to his knees. His mind was flooded. Visions of her world, of vast hive cities, endless corridors of light, and countless beings bowing to her. He saw war, peace, power beyond understanding. "I offer you peace," she whispered. "But it comes with a price." Jonathan staggered up. What price?" he asked. Your solitude is over. You belong to me now. The basement shifted. The walls glowed faintly, the air alive with energy. Jonathan felt a change inside him, something awakening. Fear and awe tangled together. I don't understand, he said. You sought peace. You will have it. But you will be part of my hive. Forever. She extended her hand again. Jonathan hesitated, then took it. Light surged through him. His last thought before losing consciousness was that he had traded silence for eternity. When Jonathan awoke, he was not in the farmhouse. He was in the hive. Vast, organic, glowing structures surrounded him. The queen stood before him, her voice echoing in his mind. Welcome home. He looked back toward where the farmhouse had been. Only silence remained. But this silence was different now. It was not peace. It was the stillness before something far greater awoke. Jonathan's fingers trembled as he unlocked the cage. The heavy clang echoed through the basement, and a wave of humming energy filled the air. The metal bars dissolved like mist, and the queen stepped forward. Her body glistened with living light, and her eyes locked onto his. Thank you, she whispered, not with words but inside his mind. Her touch was electric. The moment her skin grazed his, visions exploded in his consciousness. Endless cities of light, beings connected in harmony, and wars fought and won in silence. He staggered back, overwhelmed by the flood of sensation. I offer you peace, her voice echoed within him. But it comes with a price. What price? He asked aloud, but the answer came as a pulse in his mind. Your solitude. Your freedom. Life. The basement pulsed around him. The queen extended her hand, and Jonathan, drawn by something beyond reason, took it. Light surged through him, filling his senses, drowning his thoughts. His world dissolved. When he awoke, the farmhouse was gone. He stood in the hive, an endless glowing city built from living crystal and light. The queen stood before him, radiant and immense. Welcome home, she said. Jonathan realized then that the peace he had sought was not solitude. It was surrender. Surrender to eternity, to a bond he could never escape. Behind him, the farmhouse lay silent in the distance, swallowed by the forest. But there was no turning back. The peace Jonathan craved was no longer his own. It was hers, and now so was he.